All right, today we're going to dive into a really cool open source project. It's one of those brilliant examples that takes some super precise, kind of complex hardware and builds this perfect user-friendly bridge to control it. It's a great story about how software can make powerful hardware accessible to pretty much anyone.
Okay, so here's the plan. First up, we're going to meet the ultra-stable clock that's at the center of all this. Then we'll check out the custom app built to, well, tame it. After that, we'll peek under the hood at the modern tools used to build it, see just how easy it is to configure, and then wrap things up by talking about why open source projects like this one are, so important. All right, so first things first, we really need to understand the heart of this whole setup, and that's the hardware itself. I mean, what is this device that needed a custom app built for it in the first place?
So it goes by this very technical sounding name, an oven-controlled crystal oscillator. Yeah, OCXO for short. Now I know, it sounds super complicated, but the main idea behind it is actually pretty elegant.
Think of it this way. At its core, the frequency of any crystal oscillator can drift around when the temperature changes. The genius of an OCXO is how it solves this problem. It literally puts the crystal inside a tiny, temperature-controlled oven. How cool is that? This keeps the signal incredibly stable. It's really all about hitting that near-perfect level of precision. And this thing isn't just a one-trick pony. Nope, it's a 3-channel workhorse. It offers a huge frequency range and, get this, it can store 2 different profiles right on the device. And since the settings are saved in what's called non-volatile memory, you can set it up once and it'll remember everything, even if you unplug it. Okay, so we've got this really powerful piece of hardware, but now what? The big question is, how do you actually tell it what to do? Well, that is exactly where the custom controller app comes into play. And this really shows you the classic before and after story. I mean, look at the old way on the left. You had to send these cryptic text commands over a serial port. It was slow, you could easily make a mistake. It was just a pain. But now, look at the right. The solution is a simple, intuitive app. It's a total game changer. So what the OCXO Setup app does is acts like the perfect translator. You just click around in a simple interface, and the app takes care of turning those clicks into the exact serial commands the hardware needs to understand. It just does all the heavy lifting for you, completely behind the scenes. Okay, so for anyone who's curious about how stuff like this actually gets built, let's take a quick look under the hood. The developer chose some really modern, high-performance tools to put this app together. The whole thing is built in Rust, which is a fantastic choice. Known for its safety and speed, it's pretty much perfect for talking directly to hardware. For the interface, it's using something called egui, which is a really lightweight framework that keeps the app feeling super snappy. And all the background communication is handled by Tokio, which means the app never freezes up while it's waiting for the device to respond. It's just a really modern, solid tech stack for a job like this. Now, check this out. This little detail, pulled straight from the project's own documentation, is, wow, it's pretty remarkable. The developer notes that the program was created with an advanced AI, which they've labeled here as GPT 5.4. This gives us a fascinating peek into what the future of software development looks like, right? Where a developer's own ingenuity gets a massive boost from AI to build incredibly useful tools, just like this one. Okay, so we've seen the hardware, we've seen the software, but what's the actual experience like? Let's walk through it. How does someone go from just plugging the device in to having it totally configured? Well, the whole workflow boils down what could be a super technical task into a simple 6-step process. Seriously. You just plug in the hardware, open the app, hit read to see what's on there now, tweak the frequencies you need, choose which profile you want active, and then just press save. That's it. All that complexity we talked about, handled for you. And here's one of those small, really thoughtful features that just makes a huge difference. The automatic connection. The app is smart enough to just find the OCXO by itself when you launch it. You don't have to go digging through lists of serial ports or anything. It just finds the device, connects, and you're ready to go. It makes that first step completely seamless. So, what's the big takeaway from all this? Because it's not just about one cool device, right? Let's kind of zoom out for a second and look at the bigger picture that a project like this represents. This project just perfectly captures the whole spirit of open source, doesn't it? Somebody saw a need. Hey, this hardware could be way easier to use. And they just went ahead and built a solution and shared it with everyone. It's all about closing that gap between a product's raw power and actually being able to use it easily every day. And in the end, a project like this leaves us with a really powerful question. We've just seen how one single, focused app can totally transform the experience of using something. So it makes you wonder, right? What's some complex task or frustrating device in your world that could be made simple and elegant with just a little bit of custom software? That's definitely a thought worth exploring.